What is that? You and Sam have a noise on text version. What is it? Or something like that.
Oh, like HNNNGGGG.
Yeah. Welcome once again to Non-Chill Filtered, where you drink whiskey so we don't have to, but we probably should, and we probably are, and that's why you like us. You like that? You like that?
I do.
That was pretty good.
Is it opposite day?
It's a bizarro day. Although one day we're gonna do that. It'll be where Bryan does the history and Cole does the Whiskey World News and stuff like that. But that day hasn't come yet.
You know what? Maybe you should have said what we probably aren't, or we probably shouldn't, and we probably aren't.
That'll be on that day. We'll say that. Yeah.
Nice.
But sometimes I think, man, we should have named ourselves Non-Chill Filtered.
Nah, it's harder to say. It's not as cool.
It is.
That's true. Even though the whiskey's better.
Yeah, usually. You can only assume. Actually, we pretty much know.
I can't imagine somebody seeing the name of the podcast and being like, "Chill Filtered." No, I'm not going to listen to that.
We used to get questions a lot of like, why Chill Filtered? And like almost in a way of like, why not non-chill? Like, I don't know. It was like, and I didn't have an answer because I didn't name it. That was one of the only things that like I didn't have a hand in the beginning of this process. So
right.
Yeah. But I dig it. You know, it's all over the place now. It's behind me. It's we gotta change the logo on the top to our new logo. But
you know what? Non-chill filtered NCF is such a thing already, and like CF, nobody says CF when they're talking about a chill filtered whiskey. So at least we're separate from the rest of the world there. At least, we're our own thing.
But today we're drinking a non-chill filtered whiskey. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. But before we get into anything else, life, whiskey, chills, filtereds, and stuff. Let's talk about some quick Phil Chiltered. That guy, it's been a while.
Number one fan.
We always, it's been a while since we mentioned good old Phil. But yeah, here's the way you can support us this week. I've been a big fan of this and continue to be a big fan of it. Comment on YouTube. That is dope. And then subscribe. If you're not subscribing now, like, we would love your subscription. We would love for you to subscribe, especially if you're like 4 episodes in and you're hooked. So speaking of which,
we got a comment on our YouTube video the other day from Max, and he just said first. He was the first one to comment. So
I'll take that any day.
If you're watching this and you look down and you see there's no comments, just say first.
Be the first. Yeah. And be the second if you want to be too.
Yeah, right. Be the 700th.
Yeah, be about that. Yeah, be about that life. You know what reminded me? One time on Matt Madness, when I did I guess we're getting right into it. On Matt Madness, when I was able to compete that one time, Matt made a joke. He's like, he basically was, or maybe it might have been actually on a ADHD whiskey video, but he was mentioning Chill Filtered, and he was like, listen to a few episodes, and then by the 4th you'll be hooked. And there was like, this repeating joke we always used to have. So, but then speaking of which, there was movement in the water for Matt Madness this week, according to whiskey, Patreon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, Matt Madness is a live whiskey blind competition that is run by Matt Porter of ADHD Whiskey. It's amazing. It's super fun. I got to compete a few years back and made it a few good rounds, and then lost to David from the Whiskey Channel. And was it
Drums and Drams?
No, I beat him by 1 point.
Oh, that's
right. I lost to David by 1 point. So it was a very close, high-scoring round, and it all came down to like basically one question. Yeah. And for those who don't believe me, rewatch the video.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, that's good. Otherwise, I am really excited about that. I felt like you were lacking in excitement when I texted you yesterday. I was like, dude, this could be us. Like we could be going, because we technically have already we're already involved if he's keeping last year's like ranking or whatever we do. Like we're already in the competition.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, I hear when they don't do one the previous year and they do one this year, it's called Double Matt Very Madness.
Ooh, yeah. Double George Very Stagg. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, of course I'm excited. Yes.
We should call it that. We should tell Matt. Yeah.
I know, right? Since he didn't do it last year.
Very Matt. That's a great idea, actually. We should totally hit him up.
But he has to send us all a pour of Double Eagle Very Rare. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I must have just been in the middle of something when you texted that the other day. I don't know. I'm sorry, my excitement didn't convey. But, already nervous
about
losing
not even the first round.
Oh, dude, I'm not nervous about losing the first round. I'm fine.
Dude, the way we've been playing lately on the re-entry buzz, we're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of us. Yeah.
I know. Hopefully, hopefully it wouldn't just be some crazy, ridiculous curveball in the first round. But hey, you never know.
Well, that's the thing, is everyone's on a same playing field unless they are really, really good at that one curveball. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Dude, I remember like, because they go late at night, especially on the East Coast. And I remember waking up my wife 2 rounds and I'm like, I won. I friggin' won. And she's like,
again.
Nice. Yeah. And then I did again. And then I was like, the third time, I'm like, I lost by 1 point. But it was still fun. It was a blast. That's the thing about it, is it's like a cool whiskey creator scene. And it's also really fun to like be good at it. I don't know. There was something last year or like 2 years ago at this point, but I was like, how in the world am I like okay at this? Like it was like imposter syndrome to the max. And then finally I'm like, maybe I'm actually good at this. Like maybe I've just been drinking whiskey so long that I'm actually good at it. But by now we practiced for over a year.
That's true.
Every week. So yeah.
Anyway. That's true. I remember I was in Hawaii or something. I remember watching you or Robbie. Nice. I was like in my hotel room in Hawaii watching.
That's great. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
I don't think it was too crazy of a time. But yeah, it probably was like maybe 2 or something. Yeah.
It's like 6 hours. Hawaii's like 6 from the East Coast. Yeah.
Usually. So no, I think it's 6 from Arizona and sometimes 7, maybe.
Maybe that's it.
No, it's only 3. I'm just
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was like 3 and 3 or 3 and 2.
But so did you say the by the 4th time you're hooked? That was actually from Matt saying that?
No. We always used to say that, and then one time I heard Matt's like recommend our channel, and he referenced that phrase. He's like, and then if you listen to 4, you'll be hooked.
Nice, that's awesome.
Which was fun. Yeah, I don't know if Matt still listens, but he was an original. Believe it or not, peeps.
Well, if we see
you are in the presence of greatness.
That's true. If we see the tournament being called Double Matt Very Madness,
yes, we won't even tell him. We'll just like let it happen. Yeah, that would be a great name. I'm serious. Like the way he's done, like naming things and doing things on Matt Madness, that would be actually a great name. Yeah,
or like a bonus round or something. The bonus round.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice involvement into there. Yeah,
for sure.
Somehow. And if he doesn't say anything about it, I'm totally going to hit him up and be like, hey, listen, I know you didn't listen to that episode, but
if he doesn't say anything, I'm totally going to hit him.
Yeah, I'm totally going to hit him. Yeah. So, but yeah, how is life for Bryan? Yeah.
Life for Bryan is good.
Yeah. That's the life of Bryan, I guess.
Yeah. I went to Total Wine and just to see if they had anything on a crazy drop day, and they did not.
You know what? Such is life.
No, I lied. They did. They had something I've never seen before. Are you ready for this?
Is it one of those things that only Total Wine sells?
Well, technically for this specific allotment, yes.
Wait, do tell.
It was a barrel pick of Caribou Crossing.
Oh, wow.
I did not buy it.
Sazerac pick, baby.
But I don't think I'd ever seen a Caribou's with little neck tags with the barrel select things. And I was like, oh, that's neat, I guess. They had them like on the shelf. The whole shelf was just full of them. So, yeah.
Wow.
I imagine they'll have them for a while.
Yeah, I imagine too.
Dude, actually, come to think of it now also, there's a Fry's around here that had Midwinter Night's Dram clearanced out for $100.
Clearanced out. What are
$100.
they normally these days?
Well, this year it was like 160 or something like that. Yeah.
Think of that.
But for $100, I like if I
100's doable.
Needed that slot on my like a port finished rye. If I wanted one of those, dude, I'd pay $100 for a Midwinter Night's Dram for sure.
Yeah. You know what I've realized? I don't have any decently priced candy ryes on my shelf. Like,
no, you've got a Wisconsin.
Oh, I do have that. Yeah, that's a good point. I do have Driftless Glen.
Yes, thank you.
But the Driftless Glen can sometimes be too herbal. Yeah. And I just want like straight candy. Like I want maybe I'll just open. There's this guy behind me, the E.H. Taylor Straight Rye. Yeah, maybe I'll just open that. That's a good candy rye, and it's hard to find, but it's worth the price for sure.
For sure. There were a bunch of E.H. Taylor ryes, 100 proof, about a month ago, and they were sitting around for so long. It was like, if you wanted one, just go to Safeway. It's right there on the shelf for like a week.
Just didn't even, dude. That's crazy. What are those are? What are they secondary?
Well, they've come down a lot, and like as a testament to the fact that it sat for a long time. Yeah. But I think nowadays it's like 125, 120.
Okay. It's good to know. No, I wish there were more available. That's one of the reasons I haven't cracked into that one right there, because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to, it's the fondia, the fear of never drinking it again. But there are plenty of them in the world. I should crack one.
Can't be afraid of Jane Fonda all your life.
Yeah, exactly. Or Henry Fonda.
Yeah. Who's Henry Fonda?
He's 12 Angry Men. He's old. I think he's Jane's dad, I think is really what it is. Yeah. And he's the main dude of 12 Angry Men. And I know John Hughes said he was in something else. But
nice.
Yeah. You ever seen
You know what else? No, I haven't actually. I don't even know what it's about.
It's about a jury.
Other than 12 Angry Men.
Yeah. Yeah, 12. But it's a cool I think it's all filmed in one room, except for like one small scene. The whole thing is filmed in one room. And it's it's about a jury deliberation. So
nice. That's cool.
And it's like a little ahead of its time too. Because it has to do with prejudice. And it was like done in the 50s or something like that. So yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
So anyway. Yeah. Not that there weren't people that were tolerant and nice people back in the 50s.
But there might have been less.
There might have been less. That's exactly right. There might have been less. What are you entry buzzing on?
Yes. So today, as Cole, well, he did say we'll just get into it later, what we're drinking today, but now is later. So we're drinking Russell's Camp Nelson Single Rickhouse B, as you saw on the episode title, I'm sure. So keeping in the Russell's spirit, I was going to do Russell's 15.
Ooh.
But I've actually done the Russell's 15 Camp Nelson B comparison before. So I was I'll just, say that like, I do think Russell's my I've tried this already take is Russell's 15 has tons and tons of blackberry fruit that I didn't quite find so much fruit on the Camp Nelson B, which we might get into a little bit later.
You're giving it away already?
I know. Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. My one teaser is telling you a note that is not present on the whiskey that we're drinking today.
But that's like what I was expecting 100%.
Uh-oh. Well, now you know.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
I decided to compare my favorite batch of Russell's 13, which is batch 2. Batch 2 of Russell's 13, I think is fan-freaking-tastic.
How do you know it's batch 2 again? Is it the later code?
Yeah, LLJL, pretty sure.
Okay, I have an LLKE.
That is batch 5.
Okay, that's good though.
L. No, that's batch 3. I'm sorry, that's batch 3.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Batch 3 is my second favorite batch.
Oh, really?
Actually, I've never had batch 1, so that one doesn't. I'm not able to slot that one in anywhere.
Dude, but did we talk about this? I know we talked about Jack Daniels, but does Russell's have an intention to do like a 17-year or something like that?
I'm not sure about Russell's.
Yeah, that'd be crazy
I'm
though.
not sure.
Like
that would be crazy.
A Russell 7. That would be like Eagle Rare killer right there.
Yeah. Russell 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Be crazy.
Be
Especially if it were cask strength. Be nuts. But anyway. But dude, last year's Eagle Rare was good. Didn't you get a bottle? No, you never got a bottle of that, but you were hoping to get a bottle of that.
I got a 2022.
Okay.
No, 2023 Eagle Rare 17. No,
I know
2022.
Bryan
Doesn't
Duncan
matter.
shared a little bit of his 2023 with me via sample. But
yeah,
and it was good, especially after trying it later. Like the first time, it was like pretty good, but then it was much better later. Yeah. Go ahead.
The 2022 Eagle Rare 17, I ended up trading for, I don't even remember what.
That's right. I remember that.
But because I remember telling you, and you were like, dude, I'd love that so much, and I was like, but I can
not
get
for the,
this
not for the value of the trade.
yeah. But anyway, now that's my one that I'm missing. So like, do I regret trading it now? Yeah, I do regret trading it now.
You should
Actually,
just trade something for 2024, man.
I know.
What is that secondary?
I have thought about it a lot. The 2024s are like 1350 still. Yeah, right. Those surprisingly haven't really come down at all. Eagle Rare 17's always been like 1400, and then even after a bunch of stuff started to come down, it's only come down to like 1350, 1300 maybe. Right. So yeah, those hold their value for sure.
Maybe because they're good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Because they're worth loving.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got to try. The last 2 years of it, so that's dope.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So,
hey, big news.
What's up?
Found North Peregrines are delivering in Phoenix today.
Hey. Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
which means my hookup, my amazing people who I guess will remain nameless,
right,
took good care of me. Yeah.
I have seen several Phoenix people posting saying that they got their Peregrine today. So
that's dope.
Jealous,
dude. Yeah. So wait, you were able to score one though.
I didn't win one on the lottery myself, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's an avenue that I might be able to pick one up. So fingers crossed, big time.
Epic.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Samesies. Yeah. How's I guess we're good. I feel like we don't need to keep going longer. Feel good.
I didn't you didn't chat about you at all. You doing okay?
Yeah. I'm excited. You're coming in to town next week.
Yeah,
that's gonna be dope. And we'll tease a little bit what we're up to next week later in the episode. But that gives me excitement. And
we have a drink along coming up too.
Yes, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Ode to Isla batch too. I hope, especially for those who haven't had it yet, I think it's probably very intriguing for those of our Patreon supporters, especially that haven't had it but have heard so much about it, I guess. So yeah, should be good. Yeah. And then after that, we got that Maker's Mark signature. What was it called?
Oh, the Lost Recipe, right?
Lost Recipe. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good one. After that, we already got two lined up for the next 3. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totes.
And I do feel like you were about to say something earlier before I mentioned the drink along about maybe like when I'm in town or weekend plans or something.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited. This should be good. We'll do some whiskey things for show. Nice. Yeah. Hey, if you get a bottle of that Parker's Heritage by the time you get here, we'll crack the bottle together.
I had the opportunity.
Oh, really?
And I hesitated,
and it was too late.
And somebody else got it.
Bummer.
And I'm fine, but I think
every
now
day
I know
opportunities.
I know now I know not to hesitate anymore. I think.
Nah, it's your white whale, and not your white whale. It's just That's the one. Like, hey,
Yeah,
and maybe
I
it'll
think
be
so.
outdone one day, which is the goal.
Yeah.
But that's the one. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. I know. I can't wait to try seasoned wood. So yeah.
Maybe we will crack it. Who knows? Maybe I'll just assume you're gonna get that bottle and we'll just crack it or something like that. So
maybe.
yeah. But if we do, we gotta televise it. We gotta tell the world. Yeah.
YouTube live.
Yeah, just like out of nowhere, just be like, all right, listen, people, like we got to do this.
Yeah.
So. But maybe we won't, maybe I won't crack it ever.
Subscribe and turn notifications on. So on Monday night at about 8 Eastern, if you get a notification that says Chill Filters now live, you know what's going on.
How about this? If we get 10 comments on Monday, 10 comments on YouTube that are organic, hopefully organic, and that mentions something about the episode or something like that. No, let's just say if we can get, and you can't force it, Brian. You can't be like, hey, Katie and Curtis, and hey, Sam, hey,
right.
You gotta just let it happen.
I was thinking like we get a comment from Max 1, Max 2, Max 3.
Like chill filtered. Like we like Brian Rapp, and then like Brian Rapp 2, and
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If we can get 10 comments, I will. And this is by Monday, people. This is by Monday. If we can get by Monday night, if we can get 10 comments on this video that are organic, I will crack seasoned wood and we will televise it somehow. So
nice.
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, or maybe I'll just crack it for no good reason. Who knows? But All right. Yeah, let's get into it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after the break, and we'll talk about the history and the background of what we're drinking today. Russell's Reserve Single Rickhouse Camp Nelson B. All right, so we'll be right back after this quick break. All right, we're back. And really quick shout out. I didn't have any big notes to get to this week. Just keep an eye out. We're excited for our 350th episode. Otherwise, just wanted to give a random shout out to a not random, but awesome Patreon supporter. Just picked one, not at random. I mean, at random, but he's not random. He's amazing. His name is Paul Clarkson. Shout out to that baller. Give me a moment. That was good. Yeah. What a baller. Love that guy. He lives in the Carolinas somewhere, but we won't dox him. We appreciate you, Paul. Russell's Reserve Single Rickhouse Camp Nelson B. This is not our first Russell's Reserve product on the podcast. In fact, this is our fourth Russell's Reserve whiskey we've done. Not even going to mention how many times we've reviewed Wild Turkey products, but on episode 116, we did Russell's Single Barrel Bourbon. Episode 228, we did Russell's 13 from 2022, which I believe was probably the batch. I don't even know. 2022. And episode 320, we did Russell's 15 from 2024, the first release. So let's talk about what Wild Turkey is going for with this specific release. Why do they call it that? What is it? What is everything about it? So you know about single barrels. Everyone knows about single barrels.
But does everyone know about single barrels?
That was my next question. What do you know about single rick houses? No. But yeah, they're like set of release, or like a release of bottles that only came from one barrel. Single malts come from one distillery, and other rules. Don't get us wrong. But then there's a new concept that's coming out is Single Rickhouse. Each release in the series is crafted exclusively from barrels aged in a single rickhouse, or also known as a barrel warehouse, highlighting kind of the unique influence that specific rickhouse has on the set of whiskeys. Because you can do multiple barrels. Technically, a single barrel is a single rickhouse. You know what I'm saying? That's math. Unless they move it around a lot.
I don't get it.
Wait, no, you don't? Okay, so think about it. It's like if it's a single barrel, then it came from one barrel. Barrels typically spend the time in one rick house.
Yeah,
So
not all single barrels are
that theory.
not all
Yeah,
not all
exactly.
single rick houses are single barrels, but all single
Yeah,
barrels are single rick houses.
exactly.
Unless your rick house collapsed and you had to move a barrel from one to the other.
Yes, which happens these days as we've learned. And maybe the tornado made it good.
That's true.
These are annual limited edition releases, one per year. Let's talk about some of the three that have been out so far. There's Camp Nelson C, named after Camp Nelson C, the Rick House. This was in 2022, sourced from a now dismantled Camp Nelson C Rick House that was originally built in 1946 and was decommissioned the year before the release in 2021. This was bottled from a small batch of 72 barrels aged on floors 3 and 4. That was non-chill filtered. Hey, that's not the name of the podcast.
It's the name of the podcast today, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We should like invert the colors of the logo or something for this episode, even though
and
it really
the intro
matter.
Music plays backwards.
Yeah. That was that was bottled at a barrel proof at 112.4. 2023's release was Camp Nelson F, which was from floors 4 and 5 of Camp Nelson F. This was also non-chill filtered and bottled at barrel proof at 117.6. Proofs are going up, baby. Then in 2024, last year, we got Camp Nelson B, sourced from the 6th floor of Camp Nelson B, built in 1946 as well. Hope I didn't screw that up. But anyway, also non-chill filtered, bottled at barrel proof at 120.2. The highest proof yet. It keeps going up. Who knows what next year will bring, or this year. So anyway, here's some, I guess it's an exploration in, quote, whiskey terroir, even though on a micro level terroir. So focusing on individual rick houses examines how, specific aging locations influence the bourbon, showcasing, this idea of like each place is different as opposed to each barrel is different. And they're limited, unique, offerings. There's not going to be another one like this. I mean, they might do Camp Nelson B again, but it's definitely going to be like a different kind of feel to it because it's going to be a different year and different barrels altogether. It's all different. So each release is crafted from small select batch of barrels, making them rare and highly sought after. The inaugural release of Camp Nelson C is particularly special as that rick house isn't even a thing anymore. So
That's
there's
pretty
something
cool,
to that. Yeah. The master distiller, Eddie Russell, basically meticulously selects barrels that embody the distinctive qualities imparted by each rick house. He wanted to get a good sample of what rick houses provide. So limited edition, very hard to find. I've seen these go for a lot of money because one, they're expensive as a retail, but then two, that's not why it's rare, but it makes it harder to find in some ways. Well, maybe it is because, but anyway, apparently they sometimes sell these at the distillery gift shop.
Oh yeah,
I've heard.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, go to Lawrenceburg, cool. Baby.
Yeah.
Aging, they're all barrel proof, but they're also assumed to be over 10 years old. No age statement though.
So where does that assumption come from?
I've just seen multiple websites that are like, these are likely over 10 years old.
Gotcha.
That's the assumption.
Okay.
And what we're drinking today, we talked a little bit about it, but it is from the 2024 release. It's the Camp Nelson B Rick House, which out of the 3 releases to date, apparently gets the most sun out of the 3 rick houses and is furthest from the Kentucky River out of the 3. Therefore, and it's the highest floors. That was, the barrels were selected from the highest floor, or at least the highest set of floors. In this case, it was the 6th floor. The other ones were less than 6 in the rick house. So there's a few things that are leading this to believe that this might be a little higher proof and a little more developed than some of the other releases. And hence we get the 120.2 proof, which is higher than the other 2. Mash bill is the standard Wild Turkey mash bill. I believe it's the standard. It's 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malty bees. No age statement, as I said, but we assume it's over 10. I think what was it? Was it the first release? Was it Camp Nelson C, where people were like, "Dude, this is one of the greatest Russell's products ever," or
I
was it
believe
F?
that F
Okay.
is universally decided to be the best.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I knew it was one of the first two. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if this one keeps up. We'll taste it. Apparently not to Bryan. But yes, suggested retail was $300 a bottle.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. I would
A lot of
take a Russell's 15 over that any day.
I know, right?
We'll
Except Russell's 15 now is $5.25.
It's a good thing I got one, or at least that much left. That's a half bottle. You can't really see it right there, but that's a half bottle worth.
Nice. I can tell the whole bottom half under the label is filled up. Yeah.
Darn.
Or no, wait, that's where the 15 stripe is. So I guess I don't know.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see past it.
Yeah.
There is a difference between the white and the blue, so you can tell there's at least whiskey between those two. So
gotcha.
Anyway, let's pour it on out.
Yeah,
for the homies.
Got a pork chop for you.
Ooh, a pork chop. That's the sound of my screw top.
Oh, I like it. Hefty pour here for my neat pour, so that'll be fun.
What's that?
Poured a lot for my neat pour here, so that'll be fun.
As God intended. All right. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Russell's 15. It's got a nice oakiness to it.
Obviously, there are similarities. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a nice dusty oaky. It is drier on the nose. Like, it's not as sweet as something like Russell's standard single barrel or 10-year or even Russell's 13. I think leads me to believe this might be like Russell's 15, which was drier but still really, really well balanced on the fruity notes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think on the nose, I'm getting a lot of sweet brown sugar, and that sweetness. There's also a lot of ABV heat on the nose too here. Not so much that it punishes you, but like I think that the ABV heat and the high sweet kind of conflict with each other. It does come across as kind of dry, whereas it's not like super saturated, rich sweet. But also at the same time, it's not super ABV hot on the nose either. So I think it's reasonably well balanced, but maybe a smidge too hot on the nose. But like Cole said, tons and tons of dusty oak for sure on this.
Yeah, I just took a sip, and at least compared to like my recollection of Russell's 15, this does separate at a certain point. And like I said before, Russell's 15 has a really nice balance of sweet and dryness at the same time, like an oaky dryness with a berry sweet. It kind of blends it very well. This one separates a little bit so far. I still think I like it a lot, but in a way, I'm comparing this to one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. So it's like, this doesn't live up to that. I still think I really like this. It is a little drier than Russell's 15. It is a little more alcohol in that kind of kick to it. I wish it had a little more fruitiness, even though the fruitiness is there. The fruitiness reminds me of the lingering palate or the lingering finish of drinking a berry seltzer.
Oh, seltzer. I was curious where you're going to go with that, because what I was going to say was in the finish, long after the sip, I was getting like flat Coca-Cola, like a cola syrup lingering on the side of my tongue, which I like. I think it's pleasant. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think that that first sip that I just had now, I'm liking it way more than I did the first time or two that I was sipping this. I think the weight of the palate wise, I think heaviness and like mouthfeel is on par with Russell's 15. I think that it's got good body and viscosity to it. But I do think that the flavors that you get on this are a pretty stark departure from Russell's 15, in that I get heavier caramely oak brown sugar than I do on Russell's 15.
Okay. Yeah, I still like it. It's weird because, like I said, I'm comparing this to one of the best whiskeys I've ever had, which was Russell's 15. Which isn't a fair comparison to just say, "Hey, I like this," and it's great. It is well matured. Like it's not. You can tell this isn't a youthy product. This is a well oaked, but it's not over oaked to me. It is just a little dry. I still like it. I still very much like it. I wish it were a little sweeter. Just even a tiny bit more sweet. The finish is really, honestly, I think everything lives up to a great pour from Wild Turkey, but the finish is a little short and a little dry for me to like love this. But I do like it a lot.
I do disagree with you on the finish being short. And I think that there is sweetness there and it's just hard to see because of that. Because I think
you're right.
Easily by far the most dissatisfactory thing about this pour is the amount of ABV heat. If you were able to just somehow strip away all the ABV heat, I think you'd be left with just an amazingly flavorful, oaky, sweet whiskey. I'm really curious about how the water pour is going to go down here.
I'm about to find out.
Because I hope palate notes kind of stay the same, but I hope it takes the ABV heat away. But you never know what's going to happen. But I think the finish is quite long. I think the flavors linger in my mouth a long time, but that ABV heat just kind of masks it a little bit with a little bit of sting and burn that you have to try to look through to get to the flavors.
Great nose with a few drops of water. Sweetness comes out, brightness comes out. It's like, it's like everything I love about Russell's Reserve is showing up on the few drops of water nose. Oh man, it's a great nose. Yeah, sweet, bright blackberries. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sipped the 13 real quick before I added water to this. The 13 definitely has the fruit. The 13 is like halfway to 15 as far as fruit content goes, as far as being able to taste blackberry. It's but the mouthfeel is thinner on the 13. The Camp Nelson B is definitely thicker and heavier.
Okay. With water, it's good. This is a hard one for me. I really do like it, but I hate comparing it to the 15 year. But it is very close in certain ways. Like there are certain things that like qualities about it that are like, hey, this is kind of like 15, but not as good.
I mean, it's a good benchmark because I mean, even people who haven't had Russell's 15 at all have been inundated with information about it from everyone who's loved it so much. So at least it's a decent frame of reference there.
After a second sip with water, I don't prefer it to the neat. There is a slight, and it's not Russell's fault at all. There is the slightest amount of synthetic sugar on the water pour for me that I don't love it. It's a little bit, wouldn't call it, I don't know. It opens it up in a weird sweet way. It's still fruity, still good, but I much prefer it neat, to be honest.
I think I prefer the water. Man, this is our opposite day continues here with just me being opposite of you on a lot of this. I think the water really, I think it took away a lot of the burn, the sting of that ABV. There's still plenty of backbone to the heat. I guess now with the water, it's more of a heat than it is like a sting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's a little easier to see through, to see to the flavors that are there, and it kind of It brought out the dustier side of the
Mm.
caramels and the oak for me. It's a little less sweet now also. It's a little less sugary sweet for me, but it's a little more dusty oaky with water. I think I might like water more than neat.
Hmm. I it's hard. Like, let me just give people a frame of reference for what I think of this. This is 9+ status. Even though this isn't Russell's 15 status, this is still a 9+ for me.
Yeah.
This is still very good whiskey. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And the more I sip it with water, the less I think about that synthetic sugar note.
I am
we'll see what
also, I'm kind of convincing myself that I'm starting to see like a little berry fruit coming out now.
No, I'm still getting berries. I'm getting
the
berries
water.
100% here. Blackberries,
So
especially.
I get more of that thin flavors
Mm-hmm.
where fruit resides.
The
I am
place where
getting
fruit resides.
yes, the place where
The
fruit
land
resides.
of the fruit.
I feel like if we made episode titles based off random quotes in an episode, that'd make a good one.
Where the fruit resides.
Episode 347, where the fruit resides.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm gonna leave that little water pour there. I'm gonna go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
pour neat in another Glen, take one more sip neat, and then do ice.
All right, I iced it. Great nose, fruity bright. Like I said, with the water pour, fruity bright, blackberries. It's a good wild turkey pour.
Nice.
Yeah, let's see what it tastes like. See what it tastes like with the ice.
Yeah, and I think I'm done with the 13 in that, like, the assessment. I think I'm done with the 13. That I do prefer the Camp Nelson B over even Russell's 13. I
Nice.
wouldn't have, the way my sentiment about it going into this episode was like I was not expecting that to be the case at all. I'm definitely pleasantly surprised with it this episode.
Yeah.
And I remember loving Camp Nelson F. And I did one of the first times I tried Russell's 15 ever was in a blind where Camp Nelson F was in there too. And I strongly preferred Camp Nelson F. I don't even remember why, to 15. So I would love somehow to get another sample of Camp Nelson F so I could try that one more time against the B now.
That's right, listeners. Send in your samples to P.O. Box 4923 Chillfiltered at chillfilteredpennsylvania.com.
.com at the end of the address.
But if you're interested in sending us Camp Nelson F, we're not going to deny you. Yeah. Even if this episode is like 2 years old and you're watching it late, you're allowed to send us Camp Nelson F. People.
Send us a picture of your Camp Nelson F on your shelf, and then we'll go, oh.
Yeah, that too. What is the you and Sam have a noise on text version? What is it? Or something like that?
Oh, like HNNNGGGD.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I imagined it was said.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. A tiny little bit of this here with a gigantic ice cube. So I'm going to make quick work of this here with ice.
Make quick work. I'm going to talk about the ice pour.
I thought you said something about Taco Bell there for a sec.
Taco Bell. Did I ever tell you how much I love Taco Bell in like a general way, like as a company?
Oh, no, continue.
Okay. So like Taco Bell does, like, you know how like Apple does like keynote addresses, or like, you know, where they're like Taco Bell does that too. And they're like, this year we're gonna do this with Taco Bell. We're gonna do like
I've seen
we're gonna
those.
put your pizza in a taco, and like, and people are freaking out and stuff. Yeah. That's just like up my alley. As like, and I love experimental things. So like on a food level, like I can dig Taco Bell. Like I think it's amazing. But like the fact that they're trying new things, I see commercials or like even ads that are just like, hey, here's what we're doing this month is like we're putting chalupas in a a pizza, and then we're going down to fry it in a whatever, and then and I'm just like, I need that. Like, I'm not going to settle for anything else. I'm just going to get me that whatever product from Taco Bell it is. So
yeah, the old what's the maximum number of combinations we can make with these same ingredients?
Permutations, baby.
Yeah. And it's not even the ingredients. Then you start putting actual products inside other products,
like the friggin' Cheez-It
man.
Crunchwrap Supreme. That was amazing. It was so good.
I know. Apparently, I didn't do that. I didn't know you can just buy the Cheez-It, just the Cheez-It.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, I'd like
one
extremely large Cheez-It, please. And they would just give you a whole gigantic Cheez-It.
But it tasted so good in the Crunchwrap Supreme. Why change it?
I know. That's true.
That's what I love about Taco Bell is like. And then the funny, they take themselves seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously. They're like,
right.
And this year we're gonna do gelatos of the Baja Blast, and it's just like people freaking out in the audience. I just love it. I love Taco Bell. They're doing it right.
Yeah,
I don't see them going under anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Doritos Locos Taco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised
they took out the Cool Ranch.
Oh, they did? Oh, I was gonna say I'm surprised that like lasted as long as it did, because I think
years.
If I remember correctly, it's like twice as much as a normal taco.
I'm not surprised, but it's like cheesy outside,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's a fun novelty and all, but like you could get 2 tacos for the price of one that just has a barely cheesy shell. I don't know.
Is it barely though?
We should review Taco Bell sometime on the show.
We should start another podcast called something funny. We'll think about it later.
Deal. We'll ask ChatGPT to come up with a name.
Yeah,
actually, that's it.
Non-chalupa filtered. Yeah.
All right. Look, we're 47 minutes in here right now. So yes, if we get 10 YouTube comments by Monday night, he'll open the season wood. But if we get
50,
3, no. If we get 3 good Taco Bell podcast name ideas,
maybe we'll start a podcast.
Then maybe I can convince Cole to open. So come on.
Yeah.
If you've listened this far, leave a comment. With your Taco Bell podcast.
For those very few people that are hanging in there this long. No, that'd be great. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And if you can comment on a really good name. Yeah.
Okay. I did 2 things with ice. I choked on it.
Ooh. And on the ice itself or the ice pour?
Oh, on the ice pour a little bit. Okay, I'm good now.
Okay, he's good. He's good.
I had a little bit of whiskey. I did an ice cube. I swirled it for not very long, and I sipped it. And I was impressed at the increase in viscosity. And I felt like flavor wise, it was the exact same as the water pour. So, and it was good. I liked it. But in my head, I was like, okay, well, that's probably because I like drank it very quickly and I didn't let the ice dilute it much at all. So then I poured a little bit more on that ice cube and I let it sit the whole time we were talking about Taco Bell. So the ice cube
was a long time.
Yeah, a long time. 49 minutes. The ice cube had almost entirely melted in there.
Yeah.
And sipping that with an almost entirely melted ice cube in there, I'm still hugely impressed at how it maintained its viscosity and flavors with like a freaking whole ice cube melted in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did not necessarily think that it was like good. Like that's not necessarily how I want to drink it all the time.
Yeah.
But it stood up to ice impressively well.
Nice. I agree with that actually. Even with mine fully dissolved, but it's fully melted, but it didn't. I didn't have a huge chunk in there, but it was enough to dilute for sure. And I agree, it kept up. I'd say this is still a 9+ whiskey with ice. I am ready to rate this one.
Yeah, let me pull up my show notes here.
I'm gonna give this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
A 9.2.
Nice.
An A, barely minus. A minus to A range. I still think this is great. I think what I appreciate about this one most is the maturity of it. It does have well-developed oaky notes. It does still, to me, have a lot of blackberry. I wish the blackberry carried a little bit forward. But that being said, this is a Hubba to What standard kind of whiskey. 9.2 is a good score. So I'm happy with
definitely.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I kind of just already knew where I was going to go on my scale here. So I was looking up and down a little bit, but this is an easy A. This is, I don't want to say A plus because it's not the sting, the ABV heat on this one, the hotness kept it from being a like truly impressive, absolute top of the top tier kind of pour. But it's an easy A for me though, because of the flavor balance with all that heat too.
Yeah.
I think it's got plenty to offer. It's got it. I even think that it's better than Russell's 13.
Nice.
I don't think it's quite better than Russell's 15 because I really love the amount of fruit on Russell's 15. But that A category is extremely solid and well-rounded. Yes, absolutely. That's what this is. And no substantial negative comment can be made. No substantial negative comment can be made. I've got a little negative on the heat and the punchiness of this, but I think it's easily forgiven with the amount of intense flavor that it has in the brown sugar, dusty, dry, oaky realm. And the way that it stands up with water and ice too is super impressive. So this is an easy A.
Let's take a step back for a moment. Have you ever had a Wild Turkey product at a higher proof?
Doubt it. No.
Yeah. I mean, rare breeds are like 116 range.
Yeah.
Russell's 13 is at 114. Russell's 15 is at 117, right? This might be the highest Wild Turkey product maybe ever.
I feel like if it was ever, we would have seen like, marketing or something about that, but
nothing we've ever had probably.
But yeah, like now that you mention it, no, I can't even imagine.
So that goes to show maybe they're on the higher end of the spectrum where maybe they shouldn't be in the proof wise. Like maybe just like maybe 115, 117 is the sweet spot.
Sweet spot is
a little too much.
Yeah, right. Because none of these Russell's releases like this say what's the word? Uncut, unfiltered, right?
Yeah.
Like
well, no, I think the 15 does. I might be wrong.
If only I could reach it. Sorry, I'm being lazy.
No, you're fine. It's right here. Non-chill filtered. It does not say uncut.
Yeah. So like clearly they know what they're doing. They have a plan. They purposefully blend these. And you know what? I mean, with Camp Nelson B being in the sun and whatever, like you said, like they probably purposefully did try to blend this so that it was on the higher end of things just to be representative of maybe the this warehouse has the highest average barrel proofs of all their rickhouses.
Yeah. It's kind of what they were saying, at least compared to C and B or C and F.
Yeah, obviously, I'm just making stuff up. You know what? I have one last bone to pick with Russell's before we move on.
Pick that bone.
I believe that label design wise, so my finger right here is on a vertical line right next to the 13. Yeah. And that goes straight down the middle of the Russell's top label. I feel like the 13 should be right in the middle.
But actually, it should be. Yours is off.
No.
Yeah, yours is off.
Well, but my 15 is like, actually, all my 13s and my 15 are all like this. So maybe yours is off.
Yeah, mine's right center.
Dude.
Yeah, this is the bottom. You probably got fakes over this.
all of them.
Exactly.
The vertical line to the left of my number 13.
Yeah.
If you draw a line directly up from that, it hits the second.
My 15 is that way. is what you're saying. It's kind of not centered.
Yeah.
It's the line that's centered, but yeah.
And like for the longest time, I did think I had askew labels on one, but then I realized they were all like that. And I was like, what? Like it feels so lopsided to have the number off to the side like that. And then, it is a little more well balanced on the single Rickhouse. Like the stuff that's going on down here actually does kind of feel there's symmetry here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will stop talking now because this is completely pointless.
Now we know. All right. Now that we've talked about ratings and symmetry, I think it's time to move it on to our next segment of the show, a segment that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Whiskey World News. Today we got an article or just an email from A. Smith Bowman, and they say...
Smith Bowman!
The A. Smith Bowman Cask Strength Bourbon returns with its 4th release. The distillery's annual Cask Strength release is back. Cask Strength number 4 is 139.7 proof and features a palate rich in stone fruit flavors and finishes with a crisp note of apple. It finishes with apple notes. That's really interesting. And
weird for a Sazerac company.
I can't think of any other distilleries with apple notes. That's interesting. A. Smith Bowman's Cask Strength Bourbon is the result of continuous year-long tastings to blend the best barrels available, hand-selected by distiller David Bach, been drinking year-round, round the clock. This year's release has been aged a minimum of 10 years and presents itself at 139.7. Cask Strength number 4 will be available in select markets and through an online lottery. The online lottery begins February 24, which is today, the day you're listening to this, at noon Eastern, and ends on March 3rd at noon Eastern. So enter before March 3rd.
But
the lottery,
you have to come to Virginia.
The lottery is open nationwide, but winners must be able to purchase bottles in person at the A. Smith Bowman gift shop.
If we're tight, and if we're tight and you win, you can stay with me for a day.
There you go. For a pour. You gotta pour one out.
You gotta crack it and pour a little bit with me.
But
anyway, it might not be the first time I've sipped it at that point.
Oh, yeah. Why is that, Cole? Why is that?
Because... well, we'll talk about the article or the idea of it all. But episode 350 coming up. This is episode 347. We're only 3 episodes away from a big milestone episode. But that episode, we're going back to A. Smith Bowman in Fredericksburg, Virginia, in person. We're having a second interview with David Bach. We're stoked about it, and hopefully get a little tour again. But I'm really excited about that. We have a lot of fun questions lined up, and we're going to try to make it a little more not interactive, a little more in-depth than we did last time, than just the interview episode. We're trying to take some nice videos of the process and stuff like that. So we'll make it a fun one.
Keep your eyes on Instagram here on Monday, today, the day this comes out, and the day you're listening to this. I'm going to
post day you've commented on this episode.
Yeah, you've commented your favorite Taco Bell podcast name. Looking for you guys to come up with some other questions too. Anything else you'd like David Bach to answer? Anything else that you want us to ask? Put that on Instagram on a story I'll put up sometime on Monday.
Nice. But otherwise, I think people should sign up for it. I think we've done at least, I don't know. No, actually, we've done every A. Smith Bowman Cask Strength release on the podcast, I believe. First episode we did, I believe we did 2. I believe it was just a sample. I might be wrong. I'm going to look this up in a moment.
Nice.
But I believe that we got a full bottle. If I remember correctly, this is how I remember. I believe we got a full bottle for, I remember we got a full bottle for batch 1. Yeah. But then batch 2, I believe we just got a sample. Batch 3,
Bowman,
we were able to try in person.
Cool.
Yep, we did all 4. Nice. Or all 3. All 3. We did episode 163. We did with master distiller Bryan Pruitt. And then batch 2, we did. I just did with, I think, Robbie at the time. And then the 3rd we did with David Bach. And that's this will be the 4th. So we'll get to be able to, hopefully, I don't see anything getting in the way of us trying batch 4 with David this week, but it will come out in a few weeks. Just keep that in mind. We're recording this next week, but wait till episode 350 for this one. So
nice.
Yeah. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to raid the cabinet of special releases.
Dude, I'm like keeping it together a little bit, but
I know.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And David's such a cool guy. He was actually one of my favorite guests in terms of interviews. He was so chill. Like he was just like, and he gave such good answers, and like even off the camera, he was such a cool guy. I was like, man, how do I work for you?
Right. Yeah, a lot of lessons learned on the audio too. So if you remember what the audio was like on that episode,
changed and improved by that episode. So
yeah, expect this one to be a lot better than previous. Hopefully, we knock it out of the park, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's do some what whiskey would you choose? You ready? All right. So last week we asked you on Instagram, what is your favorite 100 proof whiskey? And we put it down to a vote between Cole's and mine. Mine was Parker's Heritage 24-year bourbon, the 10th release. Nice. Cole's was Colonel E.H. Taylor, Seasoned Wood.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what the results were, Cole?
I do. Yeah.
It's closer than I thought
it was only like 1 or 2 votes, I want to say. But yeah, it was very close. It was like 55 to 60 or 55 to 45 or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. 54 to 46 in favor of Seasoned Wood. And like early on, like maybe halfway through the votes, I peeked at it. Yeah, it was like 80-20. You were way far ahead. So I appreciate everybody coming in to at least save me a little bit here. But,
yeah. Absolutely.
But we had y'all write in and say, what's your favorite 100 proof whiskey? Not bourbon. What's your favorite 100 proof whiskey?
We got some great answers too.
Yeah. So Paul Clarkson, he said EHT Single Barrel.
Single Barrel, baby.
Yeah. Marco NAZ, he says, it's been too long since this has been heard as an answer. Mellow Corn.
Yeah. Good answer, because you might not have been the only one.
Yeah, but he said, but seriously, knob 12.
Oh,
maybe not really Mellow Corn there. But all right, Whiskey Drinking Panda said Panda's like early times bottled in bond.
Nice.
Brown Foreman distilled and Heaven Hill
Joey
bottled
T
in
knows
bond.
What's up?
Yeah, Heaven Hill bottled in bond. Those are both fantastic.
Nice.
But a third one here, E.H. Taylor small batch is
nice. Ooh, the other E.H. Taylor basic one. Not basic, you know what I mean? Like the
Panda
standards.
Man. All right, we got Broaska Testawasa. He says, for the price and flavor, Old Forester 100 proof.
Nice.
Yep.
That's actually a really good hundo proofer.
Yeah, for sure. Because what is
for
it?
The price,
Yeah, it's not that
like
expensive,
$20.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
23 max. Yeah.
Right. Madtown Market of Ben Klepsick, he says MFC, baby.
Which, if you're not familiar, we'll just lay it out. It's mellow friggin' corn.
Whiskey with Max says Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel 2018 release, which that one, I wasn't expecting much when I got to try that one. I think I was at Bourbon and Bones and I had a pour of that. It knocked my socks off. That is, I'm a little surprised I haven't gone and sought out that.
That was a Tennessee whiskey, right? Technically, it wasn't like a single malt one.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's definitely not a single malt. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can't believe I didn't think of this one because it's a recent butter for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter either. Whiskey Shaman says Bruichladdich 18.
Ooh,
which is exactly 100 proof. Yeah.
Nice. Good choice. Yeah, we're not only saying bottled and bond here, everyone. We're saying
I know.
Yeah. We're saying what is the best 100 proof.
Lastly, we got Cody Clark. Cody Clark 88 says Leopold Bros 3-chamber rye.
That's out of Denver, I believe, or at least Colorado. Yeah, Leopold Brothers. Yeah.
I've had the Dickel Leopold combo, but I haven't had Leopold by themselves. Yeah.
Let me just double check. Leopold Bros. Yep, Denver, Colorado. Yep, I'm not crazy. So what do we got this week?
This week, we're asking the age-old question.
The age-old.
What is the best non-Buffalo Trace product that is an alternative to Stagg?
This will bring some good answers on the Instagram story this week, but I have an answer. I thought about it a little bit. I have changed my opinion on rare breed and even just wild turkey. The more I drink wild turkey, the more I like it. And it does have fruity notes. It does have really good blackberry notes. And so what I love about George T. Stagg, I mean, sorry, not George T. Stagg Jr. or Stagg these days is I love the fruitiness. I love the bright fruitiness, and I love the sugariness of it. The next best cask strength type product in a reasonable range of, that's outside of Buffalo Trace is got to be rare breed bourbon. Yeah, from Wild Turkey. It's
Nice.
It's sweet. It's hot. It's everything that you want in a sweet and hot. But it's not as, I'll admit, it is not as sweet and fruity as Stagg, but it's up there. It's up there. Different kind of fruit, but it's good. Yeah.
Nice.
It's been a while since I've had it too.
Yeah. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
old favorite of mine. It's not exact. I mean, it's not billed as like a replacement for Stagg or anything.
Yeah.
But it's got a good amount of age on it. It is cask strength, and it's got just tons of flavor on it.
Nice.
Tons of sweet, tons of deliciousness.
Oh,
and that is
sweet.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Nice.
I think this is one of the first high proof whiskeys that I really, really fell in love with.
Oh,
and I think that it's got the weight that you want, because I think people love Stagg because Stagg gets a little punchy. And like Stagg can be heavy, and it gets pretty hot and punchy.
Yeah.
And Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs aren't really known for being too hot and punchy, but it's still got that amount of heaviness that you want. It is high proof, and it is a little more expensive than Stagg, but it is a little more aged.
Not that much more.
True. It is a little
more.
Yeah,
you're right. There is more age to it.
So you get a little more for your money there. But anyway, that's what, if I wanted a cask strength, high proof, delicious whiskey, if I can't get Stagg, I'd go what? I almost said E.H. Taylor. Elijah Craig. Thank you. Yeah. And 12% rye in there. We don't know how much rye is in Stagg, but 12%
never know.
Nice.
We can ask David Bach, but he's not going to tell us.
Yeah. Right. Just give us like higher or lower. Come on.
Yeah.
We'll just start saying numbers.
We're like, all right. So 75% corn. 10%. Like, and he'll be like, actually, I want to bet that if it ever gets leaked or anything, I want to bet that Multi Bees is under 10% for for Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1 and 2. But who knows?
Who knows?
What was I going to say? Oh, I saw one today. I saw an ECBP on a shelf today. It was the C924. Has anyone said anything great about that one?
No idea.
Isn't there a no, there probably isn't a 225 out yet for ECBP.
Yeah, I've seen a A125.
I
haven't seen it in Phoenix, but I've just seen it. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. So next week we are going to drink likely that one pour, right? Are we planning on that next week?
What's the one?
The one you were sent.
Yeah. That's right.
So 13th Colony has reached out to us. Ballers for being the first to reach out. And we got their newest release, which has officially been announced, but has not been released yet. And that is the 13th Colony. What do they call it? It's the 113 or something like that.
113.
Yeah. Which is a cool name. I'm into numbered names. You know me, I'm a math guy. So we'll review that next week. We might not review that in person together. Which depends on how much time we have while Brian's in town. But
see if we have time.
Yeah, we might not have time. But either way, you'll get that next week. It is supposed to be a cool release. It's actually a reasonably priced 13th
Yep.
Colony option, which is
$63.
cool. Yeah, and I think it's actually not supposed to be too rare either.
Yeah,
I
I
think they're
do. It
going for
seems like
a reasonable, easy to find product, and it's a
yeah.
rye, correct?
No, it is a bourbon.
Okay, gotcha.
Of course, I guess we don't know what the mash bill is, but yeah, it's definitely a bourbon.
But it was distilled in Indiana.
It's definitely distilled in Indiana,
Yeah.
aged and bottled by 13th Colony. Yeah, so it does say 2025 release. So actually, I kind of wonder if this is going to be an annual release. But like, given that this is 113 proof,
and they call it a 113.
Yeah, I feel like I saw it somewhere that it's 6 to 7 years. I think in their marketing materials they said it's 6 to 7 years. So 6 to 7 year, 113 proof. This has got to be a high volume product. So like,
and it was like $60, right?
$63. So hopefully this will be on shelves, places you can actually just go pick one up, no problem. Hopefully,
totally. No, let's do it. So we're doing that next week. Shout out to 13th Colony for sending us that. Any other thoughts before we close it on out?
Man, no, I'm just hoping that David lets us raid the stash.
I'm hoping that we might be able to get to drink from a barrel again.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that I get to hammer out a bung.
I hope I get to hammer out a bung this time.
Yeah. I'll let you go first, but my first bung hammering experience was a little embarrassing, so I hope to perform a little better next time.
Yeah, hammer that bung better. I hope that I hope we have fun. I know we're gonna have a fun time just hanging out. It's always it's a different vibe when we're in person together.
Yeah,
which is always a better vibe. And we have a good vibe as it is, but there's a better vibe.
Good vibes only.
So good vibes only, except for that one E.H. Taylor Cured Oak episode that we did, 200 or 300 episodes ago.
I need to go back and listen to that just to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I need to too. And I hope that I find out I was wrong about how bad the vibe was. But most of all, viewers, listeners, everyone, we hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits.
All right. Look, we're 47 minutes in here right now. So yes, if we get 10 YouTube comments by Monday night, he'll open the season wood. But if we get
50,
if we get 3 good Taco Bell podcast name ideas,
maybe we'll start a podcast.
Then maybe I can convince Cole to open.